meeting to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to thank everyone for joining us for the school board meeting this evening, and remind everyone that we are live streaming this meeting. So we'll start with a motion to accept consent agenda items. I have a motion by Earl. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Pat. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Next, we'll move down to community non-agenda items. We have some recognitions.
We do. This evening we're going to start with recognizing and celebrating a fall sports achievement, and then begin with girls volleyball. And if they'd like to come in, I want you to be able to look at them while I read all their achievements.
Woohoo!
Up front.
Just go right down through there and around.
That way they get to see you all.
Yeah. So I am going to read some achievements of this historic team for this year. Everybody get in here so you can hear everything. Okay, the Jennings County Lady Panthers had a historical season, finishing with a record of 26-9 and 5-1 in the Hoosier Hills Conference. The Lady Panthers defeated Greensburg and Batesville to capture the first sectional title in 33 years. They also defeated Jasper to capture the first regional title in 33 years. And some additional call-outs for team members. The Hoosier Hills All-Conference was Avon Belding and Addison Martin. Hoosier Hills Honorable Mention, Cadence Lohman and Mallory Manowitz. Indiana High School Volleyball Coaches Association Academic All-State Gold Honors, Avon Belding, Mallory Manowitz, Ava Ebbing, and Lauren Hausberger. American Volleyball Coaches Association Best and Brightest Award, Mallory Manowitz. IHSVCA South All-District Team, Avon Belding and Addison Martin. AVCA All-Region Team, Avon Belding. And ERA All-Star Game Participants, Avon Belding, Addison Martin, and Mallory Manowitz. You can see how worthy they are of our celebration, and we would love to get a picture with you. If everybody doesn't mind gathering in that section.
Tell people where the bag is. You cannot wait. I was pushing Mallory down. I don't think I'm as tall as it's your shoes. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll wear what? Your shoes. No, I'm just kind of here.
So you got the all-star team? You just figured it all out?
Yeah. We got it. Yeah. No, I'm fine. I'm on my team. Oh, I know I did.
Okay,
Here we go.
All right, here we go. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh,
Thank you. Thank you for
Right. Good job.
congratulations, girl.
Thank you.
Major achievement. One Mexican. Let's go.
Bye, guys. Good job.
Great season.
So I know that was a lot for those in the room, and also I'm sure for those streaming, but again, what a great accomplishment for our volleyball team. So Very proud of them, super excited. It has been fun to watch them and just to follow them throughout the season. So next we have, right, esports, yes?
Yes, we have a presentation from our esports team.
Good start, guys.
Welcome.
Come all the way in.
All the way. Keep going. Where would you like it?
You know, that open spot over there might be perfect for you to do your presentation from. So we can see your faces and look at the screen.
Hello, we are JCHS Esports. A year ago, almost to the month, we were here proposing this program to you guys. I believe it was unanimously voted on, and I figured we should come and sort of show what we're doing, all of the cool things we got in the lab. I want to start by first, can we move on to the next slide? By first introducing my team, starting with our team captain, Dylan Hubble. Hello. And then you can introduce yourselves now.
Oh, I'm Nolan. I'm here.
I'm Noah Crater.
Oh, I'm Jesse Barger. I help run streams.
Seth Shepard.
And I'm Jeremiah Graham.
And we are missing Sam and Zach and Vincent. They either had work schedules or just disappeared today. We started off the year back in August, starting with the Indiana Esports Network on a club level. This was a probationary period we were put onto. All of our games were exhibitions, just sort of getting the feel for the league. In October, we started partnering with Ball State University. They have a, at the time, 20th ranked esports program, specifically in the game we play. I think they've slipped just a little bit since, but are still hanging in there, top 25, I think. This last January, we started at the varsity season, competing against other schools in the state. We have played, and remind me if I'm forgetting any, who was first?
Hobart.
Hobart was first, Hobart High School, Scottsburg, Norwell, and
Have we played Bluffton yet?
we haven't played Bluffton yet. Who was
Who was the last one?
Mount Vernon was the last one. We were supposed to play Columbia City, but they forfeited the morning of our match. We actually have jumped into 4-1 on the season and are taking 5th place in the playoffs, I think, hoping to rise up a little bit. All of the teams in our league make the playoffs, but our seeding sort of matters as far as the regular season goes, and we have a pretty good path, I think, to the state finals. The accountability piece of this was the part I was excited about. I know Mr. Roller, Miss Ebbing, and Miss Taylor and I all went to Mitchell. When was that? Last school year at some point, and looked at their program. They have a lot of really cool accountability pieces with like holding the students to athletic. What's the word I want? Standards, thank you. The same academic standards, so they can't be failing more than 2 classes, have to be passing 6, have to be at school on game days and maintain like good attendance throughout. So I pulled some data. We saw a 12.8% increase in our grade averages from 23 to 24, and then attendance, we saw a decrease of 35 absences across that one jump in the semester. And I do want to throw it to them because the data says one thing, but I think their voices are more important. What has it had on you? What's the impact of this?
More motivation, just looking to get my grades up so I can keep playing, get better.
Definitely showing up a lot more.
I agree. I don't want to let the team down, so it gives me a lot more of a drive to keep my grades up and my attendance.
I agree.
I love playing Overwatch, so I have to keep my grades up.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been a blast coaching them. They've jumped tremendously both in the game but also in school. Grades are going up, attendance is going up as well. Go to the next slide, please. This is our lab, sort of a slipshod makeup. It's in my classroom actually, so on the back wall of my classroom are all our computers. On the front wall are all of our Nintendo Switches that we purchased. The desks that you're seeing there, those bigger tables, were actually donated back in January by a furniture company out of New York called Branch Furniture. They very graciously donated, I think it was 20 desks to us, so we were able to outfit all of those. We also partnered with a couple local businesses and a company out of Missouri called Guardian Proline to get our jerseys. We sold those sponsorships to Expert Eye Care, Martin Rhea, and A Step Ahead Pediatric Therapies. All of those logos will be on our jerseys, as well as the names, their actual names, and then their in-game gamer tags. And there's a picture of those on the next slide as well. Oh, it's not on the next slide, it's somewhere else. My bad. It'll pop up somewhere. All of our logos were designed by, I think he's a senior now.
Nick Wallman.
Nick Wallman, thank you. Designed all of our logos last year. He actually asked if he could do it, and so I prompted him to do so. So all of our logos came from him. Some of the stuff we're doing this year we're really excited for. We have an Extra Life stream. Extra Life is a company out of, I believe, Texas. They handle, it's a live streaming platform that enables groups like us to host a live stream that's for charity and then take that money and donate it to children's hospitals. We have chosen Norton Children's Hospital out of Louisville, where my daughter actually goes. This is a personal thing for me. Hoping to invite some other JCHS groups in. I know Jason Burton and the football team are coming in to talk about that program. We're reaching out to some others, the basketball team and some others. Here are our jerseys and our logos. So on the left is the jersey that they designed for us. And then the middle and the right are two of our logos that Nick designed for us as well. Some fundraising we did. Back in December, we had the JCHS Panther Clash, which was a fortnight tournament we had with students and staff members. We had one staff team and 3 student teams. We got a bunch of cool prizes donated, some Cincinnati Reds tickets, a signed Pacers hat by Obi Toppin, some Fever gear, and then gift certificates and cards from local businesses. And we also had an article written on us in The Plain Dealer by Tracy Eater. And then here's that article if you didn't see it, with my goobers. We also launched a new club on Wednesdays, letting other students come in and play. If they're not a part of the varsity program, they're not held to those same expectations, but they just want to come in and play games. Every Wednesday from after school until 5:30, they can come in and play all sorts of games that we've gotten. Partially use this to start recruiting some other titles for us. Right now we just have the one title, but I think we're trying out for a second one today and tomorrow. But it's been pretty successful. We've had a blast.
Well, I have to say, hearing the dream and then getting to see it as a reality and knowing so many of those faces over there and them saying what an impact it's had on them, this is wonderful. And I appreciate everything you've done to come share with us, put the presentation together, and it sounds like it's a very impactful first year.
We're hoping to grow and keep going.
Very much.
It's amazing.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming. All of you, thank you for the ones that are missing in action. I don't know, maybe they're playing a game somewhere. Not sure. But we always like to hear about what's going on within the school corporation. And this is just a little bit unique.
It is. We sort of built it from the ground up. The metaphor I used with them was we were building the spaceship as it was flying, and it very much still feels like that.
Well, we know that you all will continue to encourage the growth, recruit more team members. That's always important. And again, what you're learning here today, you take with you in life and beyond. So excited for all of you. So thank you for coming. So next we'll ask if anyone is present who would like to speak with any items that are on the agenda or any other topics. Hearing none, we'll go to old business under programs.
Yes, I'm just asking for approval for physical education waiver for beginning next year. This would take effect with the incoming freshman class.
So moved.
Motion by Travis, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Cheryl, any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Next, under new business, we have some Neola policies.
This is a set of new Neola policies for first reading. Please reach out if you have any questions, and we'll be following up asking for approval next time.
It's quite a list, so please make sure that you take the time to review those. Next, we'll go down under programs, JCHS School Improvement Team.
Yes, we have a high school team here this evening to talk about their school improvement work and the success they've been seeing for school improvement and specifically for their intervention programs like MTSS. So, Mr. Roller?
Yeah, thank you. It's really exciting. As we've put together a lot of this work, and Dr. Johnson challenged us a few years ago to really hone in on our school improvement plan. And I can't say enough about the group that I've got here with me that has really went to town on that work. And we're excited to share with you that data and kind of tell you the story behind it. So if you go ahead and click. Tonight's topics are the what, the how, the why, and the who of this data. And I think that each one of those steps is really, really important. But we will start with the what on what our data is. Just some highlights I want to say. In the 7 years that I've been the principal, and then Stephanie and Taryn have been with me as assistant principals, we've seen a 76% reduction in disciplinary referrals to the office in that time. Now, on top of that, in the last 7 years, we've reduced failing grades by students by more than 50%. And that is on the 7-year-ago mark. That's not on the high point. It's much more than that if we look at the high point right after COVID. We've returned our attendance rates to pre-COVID ranges, and this is the first one here. This is chronic absenteeism, which is part of our data dashboard. You can see that 2 years ago, we hit a high at 33.5%. Last year, we were able to cut that down to 26.4%. This year, we're on track for even more growth and down to 22.5%. While this is extremely impressive and we're proud of this data, 22.5% still isn't good enough for us. And that's something we focus on every day. Taryn and Josh, and I'll get into them a little bit, they took attendance 2 years ago and made it their thing. They wanted to really redefine how we did that and have just done an outstanding job with that. Our overall attendance rates, you can see here, we have struggled since post-COVID with attendance. Last year, we were able to get up to 91.93%. This year, during the first semester, we were at a 93% attendance rate. Again, not where we want to be, but it only gets tougher. I have to remind these guys as they stare at the numbers and get disappointed day to day. Like the last month with the illness going around has been really, really tough to read our attendance reports because we know what's going on. But it keeps getting tougher, but we keep pushing to get better. Total failures. I said that the 50% mark was not indicative of our high point. Our high point was actually coming out of COVID 2020 to 2021. We had 3,033 failures that year. That's when we really put a focus on it and said, we cannot have kids failing classes like this. In 1 year, we were able to cut that down to 1,524. Last year, it was 819. The number is only first semester, but what I would like to point out is if we stay on that path, we will have cut another 100 failures off of that number this year. So just amazing, amazing data, and I'm going to get into later how this has been able to happen. And again, it's the people that's sitting behind me. On track for graduation, another one that we really focused on here during the last few years, and that's kids making sure they had 10 credits after their freshman year, 20 credits sophomore, 30 junior, and et cetera. We knew that the majority of our kids that we see drop out second semester sophomore year or first semester junior year. And when we talk to them about it, it's, I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm behind on credits. You're starting to tell me I may have to stay an extra year. I might have to go to night school. I might have to go to summer school. I'm out. So making sure that they are on track is vital. When we really started this work last August of tracking it and making sure we were talking about it, we were at 83% of the school was on track to graduate. By the end of last year, 90% of the school was on track to graduate. And this end of December, 91% of the school is on track to graduate. So we track that every semester. Our at-risk kids are sent out to our MTSS program and counselors so that we can start getting with those kids, figuring out what interventions they need so we can continue to grow that number. Graduation rate. We knew that several years ago when we made some changes that we were going to see a dip. And I will be honest, as a leader, sometimes you have to make those hard decisions to do things the right way and deal with where it goes. So you can see that the last few years, we've been down hovering around the 80% mark. We jumped up to 83 last year. But I am very, very proud to say that our graduation rate last year officially and truthfully, there's no smoke and mirrors behind this number, 93.63% of our kids graduated that were in that cohort. And once again, I told my team, we went over this with all of our staff just a few weeks ago, and I told them, Again, that is still not good enough for me. And I know I sound like a broken record with that, and as much as we celebrate, and I am very, very proud of this, it's still not where we want to be yet. So how did we do this? It started with MTSS, which is Multi-Tiered Systems of Support, which is a team. Pam Lovegrove is our coordinator. Our two teachers are Andrew Crewman and Jason Burton. They came in and really put together a system. We had always at the high school level just kind of, we throw intervention here, we throw it here. But to truly have a system that attacked what our kids needed, we were tracking them and gave them the supports they needed, was vital. Student resource time is something that is a blessing that came out of COVID. We had homerooms, we had a few different things, but when we had to go to 4 lunches to keep spacing during COVID, and after COVID, we all decided, hey, that was pretty nice because there's not as many kids in the cafeteria. We're going to keep 4 lunches. It allowed us to build in this student resource time, which has developed our SRT labs for English and math that we'll talk a little bit more about here in a minute. PBIS, which is Positive Behavior Intervention Support, we've started in the last 2 years. This is rewarding the behaviors that we want to see. And I've said this before, when they first brought it to me and they said, we're going to hand out these tickets when kids do things and they can collect them and turn them in and get prizes. Being a high school first guy and an old football coach, I did my best leadership and said, yeah, that sounds awesome. They'll do that. But in the back of my head, I thought there's no high school kid that's going to be excited about getting a ticket. I couldn't have been more wrong. They eat it up. They love it. They collect them. We go through prizes after prize that kids collect. It's amazing what it has done for discipline, attendance. Mrs. Kent had a kid last year that would come every day. This kid had missed 90-some days almost every year of their career before that. Every day that they showed up, they got a ticket from Mrs. Kent. Every day they walked in her office and said, where's my ticket? Their attendance was cut.
The next day it was, you owe me 2.
Yeah. So it is absolutely amazing what it's done. Tiered attendance of interventions, again, this goes back to the work that Taryn and Josh put in to really set up tiers and how they were going to work with kids on attendance to solve the problems to make sure that we got them there. And pairing that with that positive reinforcement for being in attendance definitely helped. I also have to give a huge shout out to the counseling team. Last year I went to them and said, I think we need to think about doing something totally different in counseling. And that's a scary, scary thing. And especially, I won't make any jokes about Mr. Ertl, but when you're on the back 9 of your career,
I'm still hitting it straight.
saying we're changing the course layout can be a little bit of intimidation. And Ed, as he's always been, jumped right in and said, let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. So we kind of blew up our counseling department and created what we call student support teams. Nikki Cardinal and Ed Ertl are academic advisors. They focus completely on grades, transcripts, college scholarships, college applications, anything academic or career, they're the go-to. Jamie Kelly and Ashley Sedam are our 2 student support counselors. So trouble with friends, interpersonal relationships, needing supports of some kind, they work together. And then Taryn and Josh are paired up for the attendance and discipline side. Each kid that walks into the high school has an assistant principal, a student support counselor, and an academic advisor assigned to them. And it's really a true service that they can get support wherever they need. So amazing stuff. The why, just to break down the data a little bit. The increase in graduation rate from 2 years ago to last year means 25 more kids. And this is something that Mr. Land is really good at that I love. Breaking data down into how many kids. 25 more kids walked across the stage with a diploma than before. You think about that effect as it goes to the next generation, and what it can mean. Students be on track to graduate. Seeing that finish line greatly impacts our student dropout rate, and we have seen that level off and keeping kids in school. The 76% reduction in office referrals means students are in class. They're not out in the office. They're not being suspended. They're not creating distractions that are getting them thrown out of class that allows that learning environment to go on. The who. This is what this whole presentation is about. The data is amazing, but if it wasn't for the people, it wouldn't happen. So first of all, I've said a few things, but Josh Land and Taryn Kent and Stephanie Ebbing, the assistant principals at the high school, Josh and Taryn took attendance and created a system that would allow it to be pro-student and allow them to have the opportunity to really grow in what we were looking for. Stephanie, what she has done with curriculum and bringing programs in and giving kids opportunities, whether it's welding that they're now here for, or health sciences, or the new culinary stuff, and making sure dual credits are available. Kids want to be at the building because of the work that these three are doing. The MTSS department, Pam is here, Jason is here. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how I got blessed enough that Pam Lovegrove decided to leave the elementary to come be with me at the high school. And I remember when she first came in and wanted to talk about it, and man, I made it sound great. I was a salesman. This is gonna be the greatest job she ever had.
And he's lived up to every word.
But like I said, it's some, Dr. Johnson and I have had this talk before. Being a completely secondary guy, when I would go down and watch what the elementaries were doing, and you know, back when I was getting my license, and I'd go down and see Nikki working at NVE, and she'd be like, yeah, they're on reading level 3rd grade, 4th month. And I'm like, how do you, like, you actually know, like, that kid? And, like, that was not something that was secondary. So having Pam come in and really bring those systems from the elementary, but making them work for the high school was vital. Our MTSS department does not have the success it has without Pam Lovegrove. And I cannot say that with enough emphasis. She does above and beyond anything you could ever ask of her. Absolutely amazing. Jason and Andrew, as the teachers in there, go out of their way to work one-on-one with kids to make sure kids have opportunities, feel comfortable coming in and asking questions. It's an amazing situation where you'll see kids that are first assigned to the Panther Lab to come in and get help that maybe aren't so excited about being pulled down there, that 3 weeks later their grades are up, but they're still showing up to the Panther Lab because they realized the value of what they were getting while they were there. Student resource time. The great thing about our student resource time is the fact that we are able to work within our schedule to have certified math and English teachers available during our SRT periods. So if a student needs math or English help, we have certified teachers that are ready to help them. Even more, here just recently, we've even got Spanish teachers that are coming in to help with some of the language barriers to be able to translate while some of that stuff is going on. But I have to tell you, when I challenged our staff to really look at failure rates, Teresa Taylor is one of our department co-chairs for the English department. And this is a little different story than Pam's, because Pam, I just sold a fake bill of goods to. Teresa, 3 years ago? 3 years ago in the summer, she was just hanging out by her pool, and I called her and I said, hey, why don't you come in and talk to me today? And why she thought that'd be a great idea to come in, I don't know, but she did. And I said, I want you to be the English department chair. And she told me that was the worst decision I was ever going to make. And she came to me multiple times in the first year and said, you can fire me at any point in time and I will not be upset. And I kept telling her, no, that's not an option. Teresa has taken what we saw as a problem with kids failing English classes and getting in the cycle of having to repeat, English 9 and English 10 at the same time. English 9, 10, and 11 at the same time. She has absolutely made it her mission by tracking each individual kid to make sure that we don't have failures. It started with English 9 last year. It's English 9 and 10 this year. Right before Christmas break, she came in. She's like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to attack English 11. We got to get after them. To where our numbers went from 50, 60, 70, 80 kids failing a semester to combined last semester, English 9 and English 10, 6.
Wow.
2 grade levels, 6 failures. I want to be very, very clear because this is important. That's not me. That's Teresa Taylor buying into what's been done. So if she's the worst decision I ever made, look out, because we've done some good things. Megan Buchanan runs our math SRT. Megan has absolutely the same numbers going down, trending with math, working with our math department to continue to build those. Ryan Cummings, our co-department chair as well. I just can't tell you what these guys are willing to do. It is not a period where, they're in the SRT lab and they kind of get time off or hang around. They're putting in more time during their own prep period, chasing kids down, tracking down assignments, making sure things are collected, writing passes for kids, pulling them into the lab, making sure they're getting it done. We have taught kids now the fact that we won't let you fail, period. You don't want to turn it in, Earl? That's fine. We'll be at your door tomorrow, and we're going to make sure you turn it in. You don't turn it in the next day, we're coming back again. And you may tell me no, but you won't tell her no. I can promise you that. Promise you that. The other people, the counseling department, again, Ed Ertl, Nikki Cardinal, Jamie and Ashley couldn't be here, but the all-in approach to, hey, I know we've done it this way forever, but if we truly think this is better for kids, let's do it. Because that's what's most important, is what's best for kids. This group right here is why the high school is making the strides that they are. It is absolutely the people behind the scenes that make these things happen. And I'm just going to say something. Thank you for letting me shine the light on them. I was told several years ago to not do things like this, that I should make it all about myself by a certain someone. But this is what I love, is this group right here and what they do. Because they put in the hours, the work, and never say anything. On top of that, though, I would be absolutely remiss if I didn't close by saying, this success and these people, we're not successful without this school board and what you guys do, and the resources you've given us, the opportunities you've given us, the chance to lead that you've given us, and those two ladies right there, Dr. Johnson and Carrie Manowitz. Without leadership like that, things like this don't happen. So I just want to be very clear about that. The 7 of you and those 2 are just as vital in the successes we've had. So thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to show you why the high school is truly successful. I get the awesome job of just waving and smiling and looking good, and these guys really make things happen. So thank you all.
I can tell you, Earl would get the work in if you take him out for breakfast.
You're right.
He was late the other day.
Yeah, sometimes we've done that.
I will say on a side note, the forklift was delivered this afternoon, so very awesome.
Dr. Pettit, I would say Mr. Roller downplayed their data. It's because they're thirsty for more and more success. But what they have done in a school improvement plan in the 2 years they've been working on that plan could be a case study. It is that impressive. And it is because they are all in for kids. Whenever I talk to any staff member at the high school, it is a story about how a kid's life was changed because of something that they're doing to give them an opportunity or make sure they succeed. They are all in, kids first, and I appreciate the work they're doing for our kids and therefore our community. Thank you for everything you do.
And I want to thank you for giving
the work that's being done by your people. I had a saying at Sheriff's Department, sheriffs were a dime a dozen, but the men and women make up the department.
100%.
Thank you, all of you.
And sitting on this side of the table, and I know the camera can't see it, and it's to your all's backs, but we have a mission statement on the back of the room. And I think what you have presented, and all of you have accomplished, is exactly meeting that mission statement. And that is to inspire and empower our students to reach their full potential. And that's super exciting. So thank you all for that, seriously. Enrollment update?
Yes, I have an enrollment update. So Spring Count Day occurs every February, so that was just completed. So I wanted to share where we are on student counts. Our current enrollment for our ME count is 3,659 students. And that is comparison to our fall count of 3,719. That is 60 students less from fall to spring. I would mention we did have 34 midterm grads that are part of that number. If you compare our spring last year to spring this year, it's a loss of 98 students in enrollment. And that 98 students of enrollment loss annually is a trend we have been seeing as a county for some time. And there are a lot of factors to that in your packet, and Deb has extra copies if anyone in the audience would like one, is the enrollment trend for our district for 15 years. And so this is our enrollment trend on a 15-year time span. You can see that we have lost 1,333 students in that 15-year time span. It is a consistent loss of around 98 students per year, each of those years, with some variation, of course. I will say that this has been an ongoing thing, and it's relatable to multiple factors. One, though, is like when the demographer came in and presented to us, that is pure demographics. That is birth rate, death rate, those types of things. When you look more closely in the last 5-year time span, we are seeing a trend that other public school districts in the state are seeing, that those factors are impacted now by vouchers for private schools and online enrollment. So those are also becoming a factor in those numbers. But it is a consistent loss over a 15-year time span of a sizable number of students, and I'm bringing that to your attention. And from a fiscal responsibility standpoint, something we need to study, look at further, and see what other things might need to be addressed. But I included that chart that gives you that time span, and then you also have of note what spring to spring looks like and how those numbers compare to what Mr. McGibbon, the demographer that came in and presented, how those compare to what he predicted. And we are slightly below even what he predicted we would be for this spring count. So just wanted to share that data and make sure that you have that in front of you to be reviewing and aware.
Any questions? So we'll go down the agenda. It doesn't look like we have anything for professional staff. So down to support staff recommendations.
Yes, please. Asking for approval, please, for the following recommendations. Sonia Jackson to be employed at Same Creek Elementary as the SPED Parapro. Brandon Malloy at Jennings County High School as custodian. Austin Martin, Jennings County High School as a volunteer baseball coach. Charlene Sproles, Same Creek Elementary as a part-time custodian. And Christina Wagers, Jennings County High School as custodian, please.
Entertain a motion. I have a motion by Mary Lynn. Do I have a second? Second by Travis. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Next we'll move down under finance. Who gets the pleasure of reading all of the donations today?
Yeah. So asking for approval to accept these donations for Brush Creek for student snacks, Jill Wallman, $100, Butlerville Grocery, $100, Anonymous, $100, Floyd and Peggy Bowman, $100, Liz and Justin Tucker and family, $100. For Jennings County School Corporation donations, Jennings County Farm Bureau, 6 books on agriculture donated to 6 elementary schools. For Jennings County High School donations, Coffee Creek Conservation Club, $1,500 donation to the Academic Honors Program. Mark and Pamela Hausberger, $200 donation to the esports team. Toyota Material Handling in Columbus, the Jennings County forklift. For the Jennings County Middle School, Alicia Roberts, State Farm Insurance of Columbus, $280 for student council field trip. Wendy's, 60 Frosty coupon donations for the Panther Den IXL Challenge. For Sand Creek Elementary donations, Jeff Jerry's $100 donation for Megan Matthews Kindergarten Classroom, and NVIC $250 donation to Sand Creek Elementary, Karen Pedigo for library books.
Entertain a motion to accept those donations as read.
So moved.
I have a motion by Cheryl. Do I have a second? Second by Pat. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0.
And then I do have another one. Mary Lynn Wickham, $1,000 donation for plaques to commemorate the 2024 Jennings County High School volleyball season.
Entertain a motion. Motion by Earl. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Pat. Any discussion? All of those in favor? And one abstain. 6-1. Thank you, Mary Lynn. Next, we have a resolution.
Yes, annual resolution to allow the treasurer or deputy treasurer to make transfers of appropriations within major funds to establish the 2025 budget for the current year for the state-approved budget order account classification.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion by Pat. Do I have a second? Second by Mary Lynn. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. And now we're down under relations.
We have an MOU this evening with with our schools and the health department. It's an annual MOU for emergency purposes, asking for approval.
So moved.
Motion by Travis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Cheryl. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Next, we're down to other.
No other this evening.
Hearing nothing, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Pat. And a second. Second by Earl. Any discussion? I think we all ready to go home.